also. She feels okay to do it.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So we almost lost
Danielle wants to speak Spanish. She wants to learn and practice too.
Okay, great.
Right. So, okay. Well, we're gonna start.
We're live, just for you to know. So,
Okay.
Daisy,
Welcome. Welcome to World Wisdom and this session of Sacred Camp of Thank You Plant Medicine. My name is Lorena Kan. My spiritual name is Xochitl in the traditional Aztec medicine of Toltec. It means medicinal flower. So I'm dedicated and focused to the rescue of seeds and plants and all the flowers that work with master plants. We have in this session women from around the world working with medicine plants, and I'm really honored that they can share with us a little brief of their experience working also with the Circle of Women. And, soy Lorena Patiño, Alba, mi nombre medicinal es Lorena Kan y estamos participando aquí en esta sesión de El Mundo de la Sabiduría y el proyecto de difundir y desestigmatizar las plantas medicinales con el proyecto de Gracias Plantas Medicinales. Tenemos en este foro a mujeres medicinas y nos compartirán su experiencia de campo, sobre todo en la práctica de medicina nativa y de origen natural, trabajando para unir a las mujeres y poder acercar esto en círculos de meditación, de integración y sobre todo de acercamiento con el linaje femenino. Muchas gracias. Me gustaría darle la bienvenida a nuestra primera participante. Me gustaría que fuera Liana con un poco de su presentación y su proyecto. Y así vamos haciendo también preguntas con nosotras. The first I want to invite is Liana. Thank you very much.
Thank you all, and thank you for creating this wonderful space. Fascinating, the whole energy, and feel you really close. So thank you for that. It's magical. Yeah, I think I was looking for answers. I was looking to comprehend some events in my life for many, many years. And I finally arrived to a point where there were not many options, or at least the ones that are the common ones in Europe or the Western world. And I study a lot. I study naturopathy and Ayurveda and many other, trying to really reconnect and transcend some situations that I was feeling inside of me and some blockages. And when I just surrender and I say, okay, I'm going to do ayahuasca. It's the last thing that I can try. And if not even that works, then we'll see. We'll see. But the first thing that received me was Yopo. And it's actually a really masculine energy, really discipline, and just sit down and observe. So even today, I still have moments where I feel like I'm integrating some of the things that happened that night that I saw and I felt. And I remember that the facilitators were this beautiful couple. She's from Colombia and he's from Sweden. And his name is Axel Rudin and her name is Liana. So they were so inspiring, like just to see that the female and the male energies work together and they travel the world sharing their knowledge. And it was just inspiring to see them as a family and as a couple, and so much respect. Really, from that moment, it took me like 4 weeks, so to say, to go hear the call. Through that experience, I started listening to Darwin Grajales music, which is another couple with Goji, beautiful, inspiring ones. And they told me 4 weeks after the job that Darwin and Goji were coming to Barcelona, and then I think I went more for them than for drinking ayahuasca itself. But since that experience, again, another beautiful couple, since that moment, I just transformed my life, and it was like, this is the path, and this is the journey. More related to the personal as woman experience, and this is just one little piece, but I felt that, well, it all started related with also the sexual organs. And when I started drinking ayahuasca, I was on my days for 4 weeks. Like I was 4 weeks bleeding. And it was just like every time that I was drinking, I was not even vomiting. I was just starting having my period, so to say. So I was like fascinated, like, what is this? And I finally went to the doctor, and they say, okay, you have like a cyst inside the uterus and we need to take it out. So actually that was just the first thing that ayahuasca helped me to see, that there was something more inside of me trying to tell me something. I find it really, if not vital, really useful, but more than that, is vital that not only woman, but also male, like there are so many times events of abuse, so to say, in our society, in our childhood. I have, in this work, I have met a lot of them, and I saw how ancestral remedies are so fast on the healing process. They support the person on such a fast way to heal and transcend and transmute those energies that in from an organic to like 100% nature is like providing us that to reconnect and heal with that masculine, that idea of the feminine and the masculine, that I'm going to talk in first person, that I had integrated in my life through the environment I grew up. I don't think I could have done it without the ancestral remedies support. I have to be honest. I don't think nothing from like, not a person could have me touching and showing me inside of me that everything that happened and everything that was okay, that I could transcend some of the things, and that I could change actually the destiny that I thought I had for myself. That I felt so limited at one point of my life that I don't think without them I could have integrated some of the episodes. And still today, I have to admit that, of course, I'm still observing and receiving moments where this, I have to say, like impacts of programs, I don't know, like those ideas still show up, and I have to be really present to say, okay, don't fall again in the same answer. But it has been a healing process, and it's amazing how I feel people who had suffered from this type of in concrete, they are called, they hear the call. They hear the call of ayahuasca. It's like ayahuasca or San Pedro, or they are like, come do this process, reconnect with your own power, and see that there is so much more. So I'm really thankful that that's my intro. Thank you for listening. Yeah.
Thank you, Liana. Can you tell us how was the invitation to hold the space for other people and to share so like a treatment for them?
It came really naturally, because the moment that I had even my first experience, it took me like, I think 1 week. And at that moment I was working in like from home. I'm long time a nomad already. So I was kind of flexible to train myself and travel while continue working in my, that by that time work in communication and marketing. So I arrived to a place that I felt home. I didn't get out. So I felt like through the process, it got to a point where I realized that it was okay, that I found the strength enough to stay out of the mattress so often, having to review again and again why and what happened and what is happening and whatever, to say, okay, I can continue my personal process, but I know there are many more people who would love to feel that they have a space in the world, that they matter, that their stories and what happened to them are being seen and heard by the community. And it's sometimes not easy, obviously. It's like, obviously it's something that in the tribes, in the shamans, it passed to generation through generation, because to really sustain such file of energy, it has to be long experience. So I totally connect with ancestral wisdom from the whole humility, and try to create the spaces where their knowledge is being seen and being heard in spaces that normally they wouldn't have access to. So it's just like a channel or a bridge in between those. But I that's my goal at the moment, is to create spaces where everyone can meet and do their inner work and share it with the collective. Yeah.
Only uh, to to end the whole concept of what is your path. Uh, if you can share to world wisdom one solution for to hold the space of women, the circle of women,
Mhm.
will be your commitment or your participation for this new uh, paradigm. Like before, we were living like, oh, it's a coming new paradigm, but no, we are living it right now. Like it's already
We are
happening.
creating.
So,
Yes.
what
We
is
are,
like your current symbolic apportation?
so I totally feel that is happening at the moment. It's just that we were not aware of it. So as the consciousness expands, I feel that I cannot do a work on the female or only because every, like, the female needs the masculine energy. So even though we can have spaces for the feminine and for the male, for the woman and the male, we are all the same. We are trying to talk, we are trying to connect with the same things from different types of energies. But I cannot see myself without a mirror or the other type of energy. So it's just, if I have to put it in a way, it's just to create a space where we can see truly our essence, our real essence, instead of identifying ourselves with limiting beliefs. Like blockages or labels, all those things that create the identity of what a female or and like a woman or a male men are. And beyond all those things, all that energy of concepts attached to one or the other, that we can really embrace the beauty of the two essence and how they co-create what this beautiful world, this reality, at many levels, many levels. Yeah. So for the woman, I itself, is empowerment, is to, and it's empowerment. Maybe it sounds a lot of drastic, or it sounds drastic or confrontational, but I truly believe that some of the ideas that I might have related to what a female or a woman is these days have been, sometimes I had to admit, my excuse to sustain type of energies that I could have longer let go, like I could have long ago let go the fight, but it's still, they are so installed in the system. And I remember always one of the hardest night of my life with ayahuasca, I felt female pain in probably most of the ways. I felt like I was physically abused again, or I was seeing like the prostitution industry, the education, how we can, in some countries, don't have access to the same level of education these days even. I could felt like how it's so normalized that we have to modify our body or how we see ourselves in order to fit in some standards. So all that was going through the whole night. And I believe that most of my program inside that I'm transcending is on that, how limited I have been growing, because I believe some of the ideas that are normalized these days in this culture. So opening up to other points of view of coming, especially from the ancestral and also the future, how female are part of a society in the same level, and how can we relate to each other, how can we create sustainable relationships based on dignity, and where we actually acknowledge and praise both sides of that unity. And like I think we talked the other day, now that the plant has come to Europe, there are standards that are different from where the plant comes from. So it's a matter of having a space where we can all sit and share without judgment the reasons why we see things, how we see them, how we see women, and what things are normalized, to transcend that. I hope that it accelerates with the support of ancestral remedies and the opening of the hearts. Yeah.
Liana, thank you so much for sharing. We have Sharon asking specific questions about microdosing with psilocybin. Can you answer that? So,
Microdose, yes. We're going to have a microdosing session tomorrow, right? Especially for that, just for them to know if they would like to join us.
she asked, does Aya occasionally help with depression?
Yes.
Dark night of the soul situations.
Okay, so I believe that every ancestral remedy has a different vibration. And even though they all relate to the biochemistry of our body, with all dimensions of our body, some of them work more in one area or the other, so to say. Psilocybin, I believe it works more on the creative side, on recovering that innocence, in that mental, to light up a bit the way we see and perceive the world, and we integrate and relate the data. So if I am not so stressed, or if I don't see things so gray, I start seeing that there are many more tones. That's what the psilocybin supports you with. Okay, keep looking, because there is so much more behind the veil that is keeping you in a depressed mode. And it helps you to bring out all that joy and innocence. So it's totally recommended. Although for the topics that we were talking before, more on a physical level, and to overcome that wall that we sometimes create in order to defend after an impact in our being, I totally recommend, and it has been working wonderfully, is San Pedro. So microdosing San Pedro, it's like a massage from the inside. They call it the kiss of heaven, and it's like literally by the third day you start feeling the 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 change of the vibe. Like it's like you start feeling good inside your body again, and it remembers the body how it should be working. So the body's not blocked and it can flow. And once I can flow in my body and I'm feeling good, then what happens outside not triggering me so much, I still happens, I still feel it, but it's like, oh, that doesn't touch me. And in that place, I don't need to eat much more. I don't need to consume so much alcohol. I don't need to go and have a cigarette to have a moment for myself and think. Or, so there are some, that don't, it's like that thing. It's like it supports you to don't need nothing to feel good. It makes you remember how it feels to feel good inside yourself. And in that place, well, it's a process, but from there, the empathy, the relationships with the others, the image that I have about myself, everything is being transformed. So I totally suggested those. But like I say, tomorrow we can talk more about it, and if people are interested.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Liana. Thank you, Jonathan. For those that are entering right now or that are online, like my sisters Berenice Acuña. Berenice Acuña es nuestra guardiana de cultura mezcal, guardiana de la diosa Mayagüel, y ella lleva años trabajando con el proyecto de agaves sagrados. Como recordamos, este es el círculo de medicina de mujeres, trabajando por la medicina de la madre tierra y también por nuestra unidad como mujeres que dan vida, ¿no? Habíamos escrito sobre la introducción de este grupo de sesión, está enfocado a lo que es ser madre, las mujeres que portan vida aquí en la tierra, nuestro papel o nuestro rol también como hermanas, hijas y obviamente también el soporte de la nutrición o nurturing. Tenemos a su compañero Juan Carlos y también tenemos a nuestra hermana sister Makeda Dread from World Beat Cafe. Es a World Beat Cultural Center in Tijuana and San Diego. She's a really, really good sister of mine, and she will be per years promoting the African Mexican culture and all the indigenous rights and all the original towns work. He was holding one of the biggest festivals in San Diego about medicine plants and plant-based plants, and she has a garden dedicated totally to medicine food. As we know that this nutrition, this nurture that we are given to the world, it starts in the garden. So I think it's important to us to understand that the medicine plants and the lineage start in the garden, in the earth. So I'm gonna invite right now. I'm gonna thank you for being here and listen to us. And if they want to speak or only to be listen to us, also you can write in the chat, and we can give us the word. I'm gonna give the word to my sister Danielle Love Light, that she's an amazing therapist and oracle. Her background is toward also with the energy readings. So I want to give the word to her, because after Liana, that she is on the South American field, but she's European. Danielle, it's American, and she's in California right now, but she has the background focus also in the Caribbean. So sometimes we are not located there, but our spirit is in another region. So the plant medicine calls us where is our lineage, or where is that we need to be. And I want to thanks for her help. And to be open with me the first time I meet her was instantly like, oh, we are sisters. Because I'm really connected with the coconut and conch shells. I have all the coconuts here. And I think it's the most important medicine in the world is the reading of energy. And the women of medicine, we want to also to share the people that the women in circle is dedicated to hold the space and ceremonials for to pray to the oracle, to the four elements, to the four directions. And some of the most easiest way to do it is with the earth, the plants, the conch shells, the coconut, the tobacco. And as Laia is also going to talk about, is the own relation of the menstruation and the lunar cycle. And Mayana can speak about us to the the medicine plant in Colombia, right? And in in Spain. And Berenice can talk about the significance of to be the representation of a cup that is also the agave representation, and it's also a lunar plant. So thank you very much for being here, Danielle. And if you can
Okay.
share us your story, thank you.
Gracias, hermana. And I think we met actually at Makeda's event. She had some type of plant festival. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. I'm just here to share and support. I don't have too much. My journey, and I'm still learning what that means, what my journey is specifically. I feel it's just the same journey everyone else is on, really. That's my journey, is to understand how that is. Like how we're all on that same journey, but we just somehow need some sort of differentiation for that varied experience. But, I think in terms of shamanic experiences, I think I brought a lot of that in with me through my in my mom's womb, and then after I was born. And then it was almost like I was to have this reverse experience of growing up in Inglewood and in Los Angeles, and just being in more of just a typical African American upbringing, and I really do. And then all of the dimensions that I'm able to access, all of the plants that visit me without me needing to even be there physically with them. All of this is like something that I'm still putting together, because I feel that as we advance forward and looking at how the world and the struggle of power and the collapse and rise of power and personal empowerment, how this is all being very pertinent, where the integration is with the fact that plants or divination or ancestral presence is all about knowing that we're all one with it, with all of it. And how my interest is in, like, with the most limited access, how can one still be one with this, like some kid in the middle of Chicago or anywhere, how is this still pertinent without the ability to travel or hire a teacher or, go to festival or something, have an experience. But, where is marijuana? Where is ayahuasca in here? Do these spirits only come to those who can afford to go and have those experiences? So these are some of the questions or some of the work I feel like my soul is here to create a inner resourcing, inner resourcefulness, where we pay homage to the tradition, and then we know that we are the tradition, accessing the future as well. And so how can we, as modern humans, be the plants, be the animals, be ourselves, you know, be who we are for this planet, you know, and you using her reflections to as reminders, you know. And so in that sense, I'm not really on a very typical path. I'm here in the community, but I don't really fit in that much. I mean, I meet individuals like yourself and I'm just like, hermanita, you know, but it's, you know, very much a unique process that I think each of us are individually placed in a perfect place where our family, where our community, our culture, our country needs us, you know. I'm in San Diego now, but, you know, coming from Inglewood and South Central Los Angeles, these are, you know, African peoples in America, you know, and Mexican peoples in America as well. And it's like, you know, we have so much already sprouting within us without the modern narrative, you know, and experience and collective experience playing itself out. So for me, it's like getting still. I mean, there's all sorts of things we can geek out on, but for me, it's just really the perception that one can self-cultivate and self-derive. A medicine being like, we're the medicine, like where the medicine factory, the pharmacy is inside somewhere. We start to make medicine off top. Like, I got medicine, you know, everything in mama's purse. Mama has everything in her purse. And so it's like, you know, that's level of resourcefulness that the ancient shamans they were actually in that state. So this is some challenge for us, is to be in a state where, you know, even allowing Mother Nature to upgrade and communicate with us in the way we can understand. And then we can communicate with each other in a way each other understands, so that we can allow society to progress, you know, with whatever the new medicine is today. So that's just what I'm really excited about currently. Thanks.
Thank you, Danielle. Can you tell us some about the wisdom you want? It's more open. Like, I think we are living in the moment of that we can manifest with collaboration. I think if you choose some subject, which one will be like education or therapy or art therapy or singing or divinations arts? Which one you will be think it's the one that is important to be spreading in the world?
Oh, those are so many. I like all of those. But I think Liana hit a nail on the head with regards to relationships. I think romantic relating and partnering is probably the front line of any type of, let's say, metaphysical warfare that we have on our projected screen at the moment, because the mama and the daddy is where the key relationship, and then the babies come from there, and then like whatever happens from those dynamics is then what then becomes a new culture or new generation. So I think that that would be for me very key. Like, that's something I'm studying right now and practicing, because I can see the dynamic and how there is a sort of a narrative that is kind of confusing us about what these relationships can be or should be. But this, if we can hack like how the resources and the tools so that we can make it easier to communicate with ourselves and to communicate with others, then I think that no matter what the topic is, we can facilitate those topics better, you know, if we know how to relate with one another.
Yes, I think one of the most important reasons I'm trying to learn the calendars in the world. Like I'm studying Mayan calendar, Aztec calendar, Tibetan calendar, Kemetic calendar that was provided for Sister Makeda in the World Cultural Center.
Mhm.
It's the holy drama, understand that is the sun and the moon, and
Mhm.
it's a son from them. So we are the spirit of this energy, like and we pray to the triangle, or like we do this, or it's like this also, like, and it's like heal the
Mhm.
father, heal the mom, to understand that we are in balance. And also the relationships, it's something I personally also I feel really grateful with Sister Makeda, because sometimes you are in a relationship that is not understand you, your path or your spirituality or your religious, or how to empower. And when I met Sister Makeda was because this calling of Aisha, the goddess, and I think it's also for us understand is uh, Aisha in the last name she has in Babylon, or and in Egypt is Isis, or in Italian is Iside, but in Mayan is Ixchel, Aphrodite. So it's the women goddesses arising, and she was like, "You need to be with a partner that understands your sacred fire." And this that you are bringing us is really important, because we need to start to be in a mirror of the sacred feminine and sacred masculine. And I really appreciate you bring that. That is a really good and important way of solve. Like, okay, if everything starts with the sacred father, sacred mom, and it's also personal decision if we want to have children,
Mhm.
or our partner wants to have children or adopt, or because there's so many kids around the Native Americans and indigenous people,
Yes,
like they are welcome, like we have many.
Auntie, Uncle, Tio, y
Sister
Tia.
Makeda. Oh, I'm really glad you're here. So thank you very much, Sister Makeda, because she wants the one that remember to me that uh, this angel of fire is Aisha, and the men can feel it too, and not be afraid of that energy that is the fire of energy of the Kundalini. Or in other circles, even a sweat lodge is even a drum circle. Or, the guys feel that fire too. That is when when the Isis went to rescue Cyrus, like a sacrifice to go on their world, to bring that from to arise. So I feel really honored to this uh, path we are now, and to try to remember is the relationship we have with our moms and fathers, even if we are adopted, even if we are from a divorce, or these generations that is always divorced families, we can still understand and to learn about this holy drama. And also I invite many of my sisters that are single moms, or their partner are not connected with the sacred masculine, and they give the role of to be father and mom. Also, it's an important topic in the society that we need to provide some support, and to create a community of that, like a sisterhood, like I can watch your children, I can play with them while you are cooking, while you are gardening, while you are giving your healing. So thank you very much for being here. I gonna introduce again everybody what we are doing. Jonathan Glazer is our host from Thank You Plant Medicine Movement in Costa Rica, and he's our brother in connection to break this taboo that exists about the healing properties of the plants, and to bring these medicine plants to the societies that need so much heal from traumas and mental illness and spiritual illness. So thank you very much for being here, and I'm gonna pass the word to my sister, mi hermana Laia, and she's a activist, facilitator from the Red 10 and Circle of Women. And muchas gracias, Laia, por estar aquí, hermana. Una hermosa
Hola.
conexión con ella.
Hola, pues me voy a presentar en catalán para que vibre en su corazón con mi lengua también. I bueno, jo soc la Laia, vaig néixer a Catalunya. Fa diversos anys que visc a Mèxic i pues, realment la meva medicina que els hi vull compartir avui és la sang menstrual. Today I would love to share you my history with the menstrual blood and how I use it as a medicine para elevar mi espíritu y recordar todo lo que cargan nuestras ancestras en nuestras aguas sagradas. Si alguien quiere que vaya en inglés o quiere que explique algo, levanta la mano, yo puedo repetir y lo puedo volver a decir en inglés, pero como decía Lori, ahí también lo vamos a compartir en español. Y pues bueno, pues mi historia comienza cuando estaba en la universidad. Yo estaba en Cataluña, hay mucho movimiento social y allí conozco la copa menstrual y cuando empiezo a usarla me doy cuenta de que mi menstruación cambia cada mes. Y de repente un día agarro esa sangre, la mezclo con agua y la pongo en una plantita y veo que una planta que estaba casi muriendo, al día siguiente estaba floreciendo. Y aquí me empiezo a decir, ¿qué pasa con mi sangre? Porque hay días que duele, días que no, días que es oscura, días que es roja y comienzas a preguntarte por qué no me han explicado a mí eso que pasa con mi cuerpo, ¿no? Y entonces pues empecé a buscar mi información y pues empiezas a ver todo el tabú que hay alrededor de la menstruación, ¿no? De que huele mal, de que es un desecho y que realmente no cuadra, ¿no? Perdón, Jonathan?
Sí, Liana would like to translate a little bit, if that's okay with you.
Super, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Because, yeah. Right.
So, Laia, if you want, just give like solo de una frase larga y me das 2 segundos, te la traduzco, continúa y vamos así.
También puedo probarlo en inglés, ¿eh? Si la mayoría somos en inglés, también I can share in English.
Español es buenísimo, traducido.
Va.
So Laia was explaining about her first connection with her own blood when she found the menstrual cup, and then she decided to pour some of her menstruation to a plant that was about to die, and that plant started to growing again. Recuérdame si la otra parte, si quieres, y te la traduzco.
Sí, y que entonces, en este momento pues te empiezas a preguntar de cómo puede ser un rechazo, algo sucio, algo que una planta la ha hecho revivir, y empiezas a entender la sangre como una medicina, ¿no? Y te empiezas a preguntar.
So she started asking herself how it can be in society that something that has the capacity to bring life again to a plant or have that energy that can be seen as something dirty or something that like a taboo. Mm-hmm.
Luego empiezas a pensar a lo largo de la historia y te das cuenta que no siempre el cuerpo de la mujer fue tachado como algo prohibido, como algo de desecho, como algo de enfermo, ¿no? Sino que en las culturas ancestrales la sangre de las mujeres sí era venerada y sí se reconocía a la mujer como una diosa.
So you start at that point, she started researching in the past cultures, and you can see that how, in opposite of how it seems now, in the other tribes, in the ancient times, the woman was really praised and the blood of the woman was sacred, and yeah, like praised, sorry. Mm-hmm.
Entonces empecé a estudiar la historia de las brujas, de las mujeres curanderas de Europa, y después de varios viajes de ayahuasca entendí pues que realmente todo era la parte de la alquimia. Y pues los alquimistas, okay, Dale.
So at that time, I started researching about the witches here in Europe and how actually they were doing this alchemy with the blood. Sí, dame más cortitos porque así te puedo traducir
Sí.
más.
En la alquimia, entonces, en la Edad Media, la información que tenemos viene de los hombres, de los alquimistas que eran letrados. Y realmente mi intuición, perdón.
In the Middle Age, the ones who were writing the history were the men, the ones who had the wisdom to write. And so her theory.
Y te das cuenta que al final ese conocimiento rige en las mujeres. Entonces ellos lo que compartían era lo que aprendían con ellos.
So her theory is that what was written by these wise men in the books of history, it was just the things that they could learn from the witches, which they had the real wisdom.
And we have here the big Paracelso, that he's one of the most alchemists, and that he has knows that he said, all that I wrote, I already learned from these witches that you already killed. Y aquí empiezas en el ritual de tu sangre, en el ritual de tus aguas. Y cuando entiendes tus aguas como sagradas y que traen información, puedes entender cómo elevar tu alma.
So this is when you start researching all the information that your blood and your sacred waters are bringing to you. And you can start elevating your knowledge and your frequency.
Por ejemplo, si tú agarras sangre menstrual y la pones en un platito con la copa, se hace un espejo de obsidiana donde tú puedes ver tu reflejo. Cuando tú te miras en ese espejo de obsidiana hecho por tus aguas sagradas, de verdad que es una ceremonia de DMT a alto grado, porque puedes ver tu luz y tu oscuridad e integrarla desde ese presente.
So you can create a space for you to take a plate and pour some of your blood with a menstrual cup, and that creates an obsidian mirror that the moment you see yourself in that mirror, you can get a profound DMT experience where you can see the shadows and the light of yourself.
Yeah. Y entonces, pues, ¿qué pasa con todo ese conocimiento? ¿Por qué no está? Porque es el poder de la fertilidad. Y te das cuenta que mi sangre, que está hecha para dar vida, se prepara cada mes. Entonces, puedo dar a luz proyectos cada menstruación.
So then you start asking yourself, what is with this energy? Where does it go? Because my body has the capacity every month to create new life, to create new projects.
Y te das cuenta que tú eres Dios. Yo soy un ser creador, yo soy una diosa creadora y puedo crear desde la integridad de mi ser. Entonces, ¿qué pasa en esta sociedad? Que hay tanto prejuicio que no tenemos espacios para compartir. Por eso es muy importante los espacios como la carpa roja, los círculos de mujeres, los círculos de hombres, donde a través del ritual, del canto, del temazcal, de la ofrenda, entendemos cuál es el mensaje que traen pues recordamos nuestras ancestras a través de nosotras mismas. Y es la medicina de conocerte a ti. Tu medicina está en ti.
So what happens is in this society, we don't have the spaces where we can put these topics on the table. And we have to need now to create, that was the importance to create spaces like the red tent, the women's cycle, the men's cycle, to create rituals, where we can reconnect with the information of our ancestors and to see that we are gods, that we are created beings, that in the integrity of ourselves, we are capable of creating a new life.
Yes. And well, that's more or less what I can share. And I don't know if you have it and would you like to know something more?
Sí, Sobre todo, muchas gracias por tu aportación, que tiene que ver mucho con la fertilidad. Entonces, también con el ciclo de lunar. Nosotros creemos que la menstruación solamente es algo que le sucede a las mujeres, sobre todo en un ciclo de 28 lunes, pero cuando hicimos esta reunión, platicamos el contenido de esta reunión, yo también hice mis notas de que los hombres también tienen un ciclo lunar. They can feel it energetically this cycle, even they are not bleeding. The men's has emotional umbral portal of the moon for this creativity, for this creation, from this power of elemental sensitiveness, or like to bloom, to bring this life and be fertile too. So I think this will be great subject for a men's circle.
Actually, we used to work with the menstrual diagram or the lunar diagram, and there we write every day in which moon how we feel. And the women's relation, we made the relation with our menstrual cycle, but I'm starting to work with men that want to start to understand their moon cycle and how their emotions go in this cycle. And we are starting to share the diagram with men that they really want to connect with this secret feminine and his secret masculine, because that's the balance that we need to find inside ourselves. Doesn't matter if I'm a woman, I have a masculine, a secret masculine here. And you have a secret masculine. Yeah, like everyone. So finding this balance, everything, everywhere. And if you are interested of that and you want to share and you want to know that, just write me and I'm super open to work on that.
Ok, en mi historia personal he estado cerca de mujeres y hombres en medicina que son muy sensibles, o me han dicho, yo me siento muy conectado con la tierra, yo me siento muy conectado con la luna, yo me siento muy conectado con el sol, o me gustan mucho las flores. O sea, hay hombres que les encantan las flores más que a las mujeres. Y yo, pues claro, o sea, es la órbita de la luna con Venus, y que realmente sí lo sientes, ¿no? A veces hombres son más sensibles que algunas propias mujeres, o que tienen más despierto esto en su interior.
Totalmente. And if you work with your partner, okay, if you have an heterosexual partner, for a man and a woman, if you both do the diagram, you can realize that it's a communication, a familiar communication, you know, because then you can see that maybe the man in the moonlight, he is normally not as sexual as always, or maybe he's more angry or super happy. And then you check in your diagram, how are you in this moment? And then you can understand the cycle of the other person who are sharing. And that's the communication start to flow in a super hard direction, because your center is there for being interpreted, you know.
Okay, Laia, for an interesting subject about the priestess and the oracle, or when it's a group of women, how you can feel this interaction of the moon when you have couples that are the same sex. Because in our tribes in Mexico, we honor when someone is like that, because they have more spirits in their body. Like they have two energies. You can tell us some about this?
O sea, para las parejas que son homosexuales, ¿cómo trabajar eso? Ok, pues más o menos, o sea, realmente mi pareja es una mujer, entonces es muy bonito ver cómo realmente, dependiendo del proceso que estamos pasando como pareja, nuestras menstruaciones se acomodan en luna llena o en luna nueva, para que una trabaje en la luz y la otra desde la oscuridad de su ser. Y en el momento que hace falta, eso cambia. Y también puedes entender, por ejemplo, cuando ella ya está premenstrual y cómo ella vive la premenstruación, y tú integrarlo allí. Y con los hombres es lo mismo. Si el hombre ya hace su trabajo de emocional lunar y lo comparte, ellos ya pueden saber si en luna llena es el momento donde sexualmente fluyen más nítidamente para también, esto es una forma de trabajar también desde el tantra y es despertar esa kundalini, desde también entender en qué momento mi energía está en qué chakra según la luna. Entonces es todo un mapa que cambia dependiendo de ti, pero que lo puedes ver cuando honras tu Dios y tus aguas y los entiendes como medicina y lenguaje.
Okay.
Do you want translation for that?
Translation, yes.
No, you go for it, Lorena.
Sorry.
This is important because I think in this society and the forum of wisdom of knowledge is this also when I met Laia and their mission with the seeds and the fertility. Also, I realized in Mexico was really important the situation of the genre, like the feminism, but also the guys wants to be listened. Like, oh, I'm a feminism, but I'm a guy, no? Like I support this movement, and I realized it's nothing to do with substance or narcotics. It needs to be with the sacrality, the sacred understanding to heal this balance. And what is your role in the alchemy? If you, I know many guys that are working with um microdosing or kombucha makers or brews, and they are focused totally like on chaga or immune system shots, herbalism. So they are really also partners of other guys because they're like a kind of like a dual of even when I start learning with another friends from curanderos in Peru, they were like, oh, we are partners. So they are partners, but they are medicine men. Or in Lakota traditions or powwows, also they are partners. So it's like a super open the closet, no? Like, you know, like, oh, I was thinking you were really close friends. Or in some ceremonies also realize that, like in Oaxaca, in Mexico, for example, it's a group that called Mushes, and they honor to dress like women. The guys use the dress, and they're like, I'm here, like I'm honored this sacred textile. So I think it's important to realize, like, not only is exclusive the sacred feminine energy to put and create medicine, that is the subject or here, like the priestess and priest in the ancient times from Egypt, ancient times from Israel or Asia. The persons that provide the medicines are oracle and priestess of sacred energy to give the medication, the prescription to the recipe they need. That probably it's only to be more focused in the meditation and to open the sexual chakra to elevate the flow and creativity and to accept uh, also who you are. It is that I think was also a really hard subject in the oscurantism, or always is a subject that is hide. But the real truth is that it's really important in this forum to express that this is something we need to solve as a current generation, and to be comfortable to bring into the table. And as my proposal is to encourage positive thinking and the mutual respect. So if anyone has some question before I give the word of Laia wants to end your idea, or what is your solution for this?
My solution for women's or for women is like connect with your blood. Start to see your blood as a medicine, as a secret waters, and start to work play with that, touch it, smell it, and paint it. Bring your fluids to the art and share your experience to your women's, to your men's, to the persons that are surrounding you. Because when one woman wake up, the rest realize. So, and that's the same with men. When one man wake up, the rest realize. So sharing our experience is best, and making, like, giving birth spaces to share it also too. And that's, thank you very much.
Thank you, Laia. I wanna invite Mayana to introduce herself. Thank you, sister.
Hello, sacred medicines. We are sacred medicine, yes. So I want to talk more how I got connected with the divine masculine, eternal divine masculine, and the divine feminine. So let's see, I call it alright. Through the medicine plant of ayahuasca, and rapes and sananga, which are coming from the jungle, from the Amazonia. Through at the beginning, my first connection with my own feminine energy, it came through Mother Earth, being in contact with nature. I live in the countryside and have traveled around the world, seeing the wonderful places that are all around, always totally revererations in reverence of this magical place where we live. And once I connect with the ayahuasca, the rapes and sananga, I start feeling how these energies, I was receiving it to myself. So sananga, I don't know if you know sananga, is the drops that you put in your eyes, and it's a very feminine energy. I was told by her, by the sananga, take it after the rapé. First do the rapé and then later on the sananga. And so when I take the rapés, which are what we blow through the left first and then the right, the left part is the feminine and the right part is the masculine. So it's like connecting both energies. And it's like you were saying, the triangle. So it's, the triangle goes connected to a pituitary gland. That is the one who reconnects all the gland system in our body. So when all the energetic glands are being lighting up again, the whole energetic body start working out. So we can go higher levels of consciousness. So through this medicine, the sananga, the rapes, and then I have the ayahuasca, I start connecting with different with elements as well. So I saw the feminine elements are more water and earth, and the masculine energy is more like the fire and the air, and how the both elements, how they work together. You know, it's like the moon, that is the feminine, and the sun, that is the masculine, always together. We couldn't exist one without the other. So I start connecting with, let's say, with my divine masculine, that is called Ariel. And in ayahuasca, we do the travel together. I don't feel myself separated from my brother. The journey with him is just been amazing because it's really powerful how both we work together. And so also I like playing the drum and the harp, and there are the sounds, the movements, you know, how we manage to to get connected one with the other. Yeah, so and it's one of my sons. So they just came out. from the door. Yes, being a mother is also really nice because you connect again with yourself when you were a girl, and you start remembering so many things, and it start getting connecting of how pure we are. Yes, it is really beautiful. Being the mother and also remembering the inner child, the one that is always wants to play. So sorry, what I was saying is the instruments. Playing with the instruments, how important they are. Also, connecting with our voice, uh, connecting with the waira. That's the I don't know if you know what is the waira. It's what they use the shamans in the jungle uh, to start the Icaros. Start getting to your own songs, how start developing, by themselves, your own Icaros, and how the whole energy moves all around you, and the aura, how the aura, you start feeling, how you think you start changing in yourself just by singing, you know, walking bare feet on the ground, connected with the mother. Yes, another important thing, going to the river, into getting into the water with the sea as well, uh, looking at the sun, do sun gazing. How important are these the elements, temascal, as you were saying as well. So connecting with the four elements and with the medicines we have here available, not just the ancestors medicine, but we have also the aromatherapy, the flowers of Bach, there is the flowers of California. There is lots of types, different types of medicines we can use all the time, and it's up to us if we want to keep continuing our journey. As one of the sisters were saying, that this is the journey, we are the journey. We are the journey. We all together, we are the journey. So remembering that it is important, at least for me, that here we are doing the same thing together, and using all the medicines we have. And one of the circles of women, how important is that we reunite again, how we got connected again. I got this book that is called Return to the Divine Sophia. I don't know if you have read it, but it's all about the goddess. Getting in contact again with our goddess, and it's something that in the women's circle we try to do with the sound, with the music, with the instruments, and then the medicines at night.
Thank you, Mayana. Nice to meet you. I feel really honored to connect with you, with your spiritual path too. And I had some interesting to bring here to your comments. That is, uh, that when you are discovering the sacred medicine in you, because the medicine is on us, you start realizing some different like energy. It's on us, and sometimes this is really difficult to people, no, especially for moms or people that try for first time medicine, sacred plants medicines, or want to heal in a group of a journey of a medicine. uh, Other masters or friends are like, don't be so hard to yourself. Like sometimes we are really really hard with ourselves, and that cause a lot of issues and judgmental situations. And I think medicine plant and sananga are the helpers to understand that this is also the journey, to don't be really hard on us. And if you will choose some solution to this world right now that is struggling too much uh, judgment, no, from how people live, how people heal, or others, and in this is like uh, to be more congruent. If we choose to eat from the earth or the medicine in the motherhood, sometimes people is like, oh, you don't need to do that to your children. it's always different to educate or raise your children, and to be like a uh, some people is like, I give you my advice to do this, but it's personal at the end, and you choose how to educate and raise the children. So if you are working with medicine plants as a therapy too, will be that main like focus to be congruent with your role as medicine woman, also a mother. Hmm.
Yes, it's like we are working with the medicines, and we sometimes let's say we do a retreat and we have 4 days where we, connected with nature, connected with other people, we share it, there's lots of love around it. But then we go home, and then we go back to our daily life, and that's the thing, is that when we go back with our families, with our friends, with our job, whatever, is implement everything that it has come to you. Not just let it like just say, oh, that was really nice, but then you go back to your normal life, and and nothing is being implemented. So what I would suggest as a proposal, because what I've been feeling that the ayahuasca is always a proposal, and then I can do whatever I want. Yes, but as a proposal, is like start having spaces as well when you're at home for yourself. Be with the kids, be there, but it's so important that you at least have some time for yourself to go connect. You can go to nature, to play music, to dance, to meditate, but have that space so important that so our inner self is still there. We keep connecting with our inner self. Don't allow ourselves just to get through to the world, and keep going again to the automatic mode. Yeah. So yes, yeah, just
and and
yeah.
your
That's one of the things, but there's some other things as well. That we, but yeah, you know what I mean.
for your advice or own experience and the pregnancy or postpartum, how affect and how you can give a inspirational or path of medicine from this period of the gestation of the pregnancy, how to
Like,
get
to
like
be serious.
empowered, like don't be like it's going to be hard, like I said to many friends, are it's the best journey in a women life, but also if not happens, how to accept that, or like how are your perspectives about the medicine in this period of pregnancy and postpartum
Yeah.
for therapy.
Is it like Liana was saying, microdosing? It will be very effective. To connect who is your baby, or meditation, relaxation as well. With when I got first pregnant, I was 17 years ago, no, 18 years ago. So it's been, I wasn't as conscious and as aware of, but with my second one, it was a different experience. So I was really much connected, and especially in labor. And I had my own relaxing music, and I was using aromatherapy oils. I was using homeopathy from the week 38. So the labor, I didn't have to have oxytocin. So the labor was really unpainful. It took longer, but it was no pain at all. And the connection, and it was totally connected with Alejandro, and it was like the labor, we did it together. It was together. I felt how the both energies were working at the same time. Yes. So when he came out, the first thing he did, he was screaming out, like saying, "I'm here!" So yes, it uses as many alternative therapies for pregnancy. Yeah, I got myself a book about all the different alternative therapies like yoga as well. It helps to open all that part here, and the different movements as well.
All
So it's,
right.
yeah, yeah, like they used to do it, many, many, many years ago. You know, we lost contact, but you know, if you go back to the traditions, how the women used to prepare, they were seated, you know, that's how they used to come. Yeah.
For this, I was inviting another person to speak about like pregnancy and delivery and the sacred dances. And her her mission is to try to bring to the community a space to dance and to realize of movement or sound healing with ecstatic dance or whatever. It doesn't matter if you are alone, you can do it. It activate a lot of this energy that we need to move. If someone has another question for Mayana, or you have another idea you want to share?
I think I leave it for the rest because there's still a lot of other
Yeah.
people, other sisters to talk. And also I need to run quickly because I have an appointment about 10 minutes ago and I'm running late. Yes.
All right.
It's been a pleasure being with all of you, with Making Medicines. Yeah. And I hope we can do it much more often.
Thank you so much. Good name.
Thank you, Mayana.
Hola, from Ariel and Mayana.
Okay. So we're gonna pass. If Makeda is there and hearing us, if she wants to bring some of their comments about their mission in the World Beat Cultural Center, and we will really happy to hear about you. We are hosting this session for World Wisdom. That is an encounter in Europe to share solutions on solve topics related with uh, education or arts. And I want you to introduce yourself, Sister Makeda, and how is like your main work working with women in medicine and your experience during all these years.
Well, greetings, everyone. Queen of Four. If you can get this book, I don't know how this goes. It's Sacred Woman, and it's her birthday today. Queen of Four, and it's a guide to healing the feminine body, mind, and spirit. And she's an incredible. Her name is Queen Afua, and then I'm in her last book, Queen
All
of
right.
Afua, and it's all Egyptian and Kemetic. You know, I deal with Kemetic and Egyptian, and the medicine is really important. You know, I've experienced ayahuasca in the Amazon, and also in Cusco, and also with my Native American here um, in this theater in North America, peyote and sacred mushrooms, and you know, growing up as a alternative person in the 60s, you know, yeah, we'll say hippie, you know, once a hippie, always a hippie to me. So, I love being a hippie. You know, I love being a hippie because we started a lot of things. I mean, how many, let me tell you how good it is to be a hippie. I saw Janis Joplin live. I saw Jimi Hendrix live.
Bob Marley was your best friend.
Of course, Bob Marley.
Exactly.
That was later on when I started doing reggae music and producing, you know, but see that you Bob Marley, they're black hippies. That's why I was like, wow, dreadlocks. I like this.
Oh, yeah.
But also at that time, we were seeing the Dalai Lama. I got to see Swami Sat Chidananda. You know, we went through different phases of meditation. You know, Baba Ram Das is, you know, spent time, you know, be here now, because that was our era. That's what we were going through. We were going different things, love-ins, you know, of course, a lot of acid.
Oh, you wow.
Of course. Okay. Yeah, we went through the psychedelics, you know, but then we went into spirit. We met Maharishi, and we went into, I mean, I'm just telling you guys, I mean, it's, you know, here you got the full spectrum. I mean, not a lot of Black people were doing that at that time. Of course, at that time, I'm seeing Miles Davis, I'm seeing John Coltrane. I got to be friends of John Coltrane's wife, which was my guru, Swami Sat Gitananda, Alice Coltrane. I mean, these cats were, you know, their music was really, you know, into different spheres, you know, and there also was experimenting too. And then you know, John Coltrane, and you look at his music, he went into Om was his album. And then he went into a whole nother dimension. So in the 60s, we were the catalysts because we were fighting a war and in Vietnam. So we had Martin Luther King, we were marching, we had, you know, very interesting period in our lives because we're saying no to all this. We're, you know, no war, no hate, you know, love. And, you know, meanwhile, we're learning so many things. So things we used to go to is love-ins, seeing Jimi Hendrix, Jim Morrison, I don't know if you know who he is, of the Doors. So seeing the Doors, you know, all those cats were in my time. And, but the, you know, meeting Bob Marley, meditating, taking ourselves to another state of consciousness. And the meditation opened up states of consciousness that I really did need. Those are steps, you know. I mean, ayahuasca was really later on when I went to the Iquitos and I was in the jungles. And then when I went to Cusco and things like that, you know, but at this time in my age and experiencing so many things, I realized it's all within me, you know, and it's all within raising my level of consciousness, you know. It's convocation right now, and it's the 100th year of Paramahansa Yogananda bringing yoga to the West. So, and I really I kind of like this thing that everything's on Zoom because I don't have to get in my car and go try to get a spot and find it to meditate. And then I get to see all you. I'm in San Diego, California. I get to visit, you know, all of you, you know, my youth. We just did yesterday, and we're doing it today, Afro-Mexico. And it's African-Mexican History Month. And it's the first time they were in the census. So, you know, we're really, because as African-Americans, we had our civil rights movement. But you know, some Afro-Latinos or Latinx have not had a civil rights movement. And so it's, you know, going down there, you know, hang out in Peru too also, and just seeing where they advanced 20 years ago in Peru with the Afro-Mexican, Afro-Peruvian movement. I just got back for their history months last year. So I'm always a rebel. So I'm helping that. It's so important that because in Costa Chica, Oaxaca, where there's Afro-Mexicans, they get pulled off the bus and if they don't recite the Mexican national anthem and things that are going on. So at 3:00, I'll send the link and we're talking about Afro-Mexicans and their plight, and they just are now in the census. So it's not only that we have to raise our level of consciousness and know our, you know, herbs and go back to our plant and everything. We have to spread this out because none of us are free until all of us are free. And it's really, you know, it's really hard to get that they are Black, Latinx people, you know, and there was a big slave trade there, and it was also the Spaniards brought Moors with them. So just educating, this is something that they try to whiten, you know, Latin America. So again, there's so many ways that we can uplift this planet. And one of them is just, you know, serving, seva, you know, just doing your best to raise the conscious level of yourself and then the planet. Because we have to get rid of all these prejudices, you know, and they did that to divide us. We're one people. Race is new. And they put that in there. Of course, the Costa system and all those things is to divide us. Bob Marley, you know, says, until the color of a man's eyes, it has no significance than the color of a man's skin, there's going to be war. So that's why I like reggae music, and that's why I produce reggae music. And today is the birthday of one of my favorite reggae sons that I produced and brought. So this is an auspicious day. His name is Von Benjamin. He's from a group called Midnight. And I brought him to Mexico and Peru. And so you guys keep what you're doing. Your plant medicine is so important. You know, I'm saving seeds. I'm doing a seed swap. I love to do seed swaps. In fact, I smuggle seeds in. And I had a bird festival, and we gave seeds away in Mexico. You know, we gave them away. These guys see moringa seeds. Moringa, grow moringa. If you need some seeds, I got moringa plants. I got so many seeds all over the place, man. So let me know. So you know, that's your medicine. Let your food be your medicine. 2 days ago, I turned 78. But you know, if I had to be there to see, you know, all them other cats, you know. So thank you. 78.
Happy birthday, my love.
So
Lion Gates. Lion's Gate.
You are what you eat and you become what you think. And it's like, it's a blessing for people like us to still be living. Because with all this, you know, Bob Marley and all your, you know, Peter Tosh, I mean, just Janice and everything, you don't live long on this planet, you know. It's really easy to burn out. So what you do, can you get it? All you have to do is figure it. So what you do is just really keep loving, keep giving. I just read, and it was Indonesian monk. He said, the more you let go, the more that comes to you. So like the whole secret is let go, let go, let go. And once again, none of us are free until all of us are free. Thank you so much. I love you very much. Keep
Me
this
too.
going. And Laura, you're my girl. So
Yes.
oh,
I miss you so much,
me too. I
sister,
can't wait.
and I miss also my friends with you there. And I know that these times have been really interesting to review what we are doing or how we can help the studies, permaculture, your show, the radio show, connections in the border. So it's many things that we are reevaluating. And I think my commitment is always with saving seeds, the sweet swap. And I always have the moment I've met you in a ceremony because the spirit take me there for the piece of the pole of the piece. Like we plant.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Pole.
You need to use my place in Tijuana on the border. So all of you can do a collective.
Jonathan!
Collective, and it's a beautiful place. It's very beautiful. So you all should get together. It's right on the border, and you know that. And it's
Yes.
3 stories, and you know I want you to use that. I give that to you guys to do medicine.
I want to participate. I'm in Tijuana too.
Hey,
Alejandro is in Tijuana.
Yeah.
También voy. Alejandro me lleva.
Makeda is in San Diego in Balboa Park.
yeah,
Whoa, nice.
I'm on radio in Tijuana on Friday nights. Do you listen?
Whoa, I didn't know. At what
Reggae
station?
Makosa.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Get
She's
it
Makeda Macasa.
Oh.
I want you to do something to my building there because I'm really busy with my, all my things here. And it's a beautiful Casa del Tuno.
Okay, que la
Casa,
casa del túnel.
La casa
Yes.
del túnel.
Yeah, I
En
know
la
the
frontera.
place.
So
Yeah, I know.
Lori, you have apartment there, so you don't have no excuse. It has an apartment.
I know, sister, but now I'm in I'm caregiver of my dad in the consultory, so have been really long season of myself as a process, like everything, like returning to the subject of the women in medicine. Why the brother don't care for my father? What like his own son? Like it should be always like a female energy.
It always is.
Fixing this core of the family. So this time it's my turn to provide this medicine to my parenthood healing. I'm really grateful to I spent almost 4 years living in between Tijuana and Laia wants to say some. I need you will be tomorrow in the Red 10 session?
Yeah, I already wrote it in the chat. Thank you all, guys. I really enjoyed it so much, and I see you tomorrow in the Red 10 session. Thank you very much. Kisses for all the parts of the world. Thank you, sister, for sharing. It was super nice to listen to your histories.
Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Lori, for inviting. Bye.
So thank you, Laia. So only to end this part of the Tijuana border and all this like energy from the motherhood and the women, sacred women. I want to thank you for being here, Makeda, always helping us to understand the other part we are not seeing from the history. Reviewing this is like a library, a living library that we need to share from the women's and
and elders. Every time you lose an elder, you lose a library. So value your elders, record them. Grandma, grandfather, just every time you lose an elder, they're a library. So thank you so much.
Thank you, sister. Now I'm going to invite my sister Berenice. She's the front face of Front Maya Well in defense of the producers of mezcal, artisanal mezcal. And in Mexico, we are trying to, I'm so invited by her to defend the agave because it's our sacred plant and lunar plant of the female energy. And if everyone speaks Spanish now, yes, right? Hola, Nelson, you can understand us. And el frente de defensa del maguey es el frente Mayagüel y estamos en defensa del agave como una especie sagrada del poder femenino que es polinizada por el murciélago, pero también es el elixir de la luna. Entonces, en este foro queremos hablar un poco acerca de la relación que tiene tan importante de la mujer medicinal y el papel tan importante que es poder defender la madre tierra. Gracias, Bere.
Así es. Gracias, muchas gracias a todos. Digo, pues en español podemos continuar o en inglés. Primero es un honor escucharlos a todos. Estoy muy conmovida, I'm very touched, ¿no? To be here and to listen to everyone, escucharlos a cada uno y sentir que pues todos estamos trabajando desde nuestro llamado y nuestra misión para crear realidades alternas, diferentes y propositivas. Yo trabajo con el maguey. I am honored to work with maguey, with its spirit, con este magnífico espíritu mexicano que es el mezcal. Llevo caminando 11 años con el agave, con el mezcal. Trabajo con maestros tradicionales campesinos que son guardianes de esta bebida, que nos ayuda a trabajar mucho con la conciencia y con el corazón. Al ser el alcohol, ¿qué prefieres, Lore, que hable en inglés o en español?
Si
O
podemos
vamos
traducir, será muy bueno.
¿Eh?
Si Liana está
¿Both?
dispuesta a traducir.
Sí, yo estoy dispuesta. Si hay
Liana, help us.
Sure.
All right.
Okay.
Well, trabajo con el mezcal, que es el espíritu del maguey, que viene directamente del corazón del maguey y nos ayuda a abrir la conciencia y abrir el corazón.
So I work with the mezcal that comes from the heart of maguey, right? And that supports to open up consciousness, to expand the consciousness.
Uh-huh. Sí, es muy interesante que el alcohol, que es parte de las sociedades, de todas las sociedades, pues no tiene un acercamiento de ritual, ¿no? Hemos perdido el ritual y la alianza sagrada de alterar tu conciencia. Quizá con otras... Okay, sorry.
It is important that these days we have kind of lost the connection from a ritual approach towards the alcohol, which is another tool to alter or expand the state of consciousness.
Exacto, y el mezcal estuvo escondido o estuvo guardado durante siglos en el México profundo para los campesinos, para ciertos sectores, y hasta hace 20 años él, como gran espíritu, decidió salir al mundo para trabajar. Yo siento toda esta parte de la conexión con el corazón y con la tierra.
So for many, many years, mezcal has been hidden, so to say, from the, it was only known by the agriculture and the producers, but it was not being seen by the, I don't know how to say, like the mainstream. So, and 20 years ago, the spirit of mezcal decided to come out and show himself and support in the moment. Yeah.
Exacto, y pues bueno, yo tengo pues trabajo, mi misión es trabajar, explicar a la gente lo importante de primero conservar estos agaves. Somos el país, México es el país con la mayor cantidad de agaves en el mundo, que tiene una tradición de miles de años en una interacción humano-planta, donde siempre ha sido una planta sagrada, donde nos da no solo bebida, nos da vestido, nos da comida, nos da hilo. Pues eso significa agave, viene del griego agavus, que significa admirable.
So my mission is to protect and expand the spirit of the agave plant, which comes from Mexico, and it's not only providing us the drink, but it also provides us clothes, threads, and a lot of other capacities. Let me know if I missed the last part. La última parte.
Well, última parte, pues bueno, el mezcal, el agave viene de, el agave es planta, pero también es comida, es hilo, o sea, vamos a hacer fibras, y también pues se usa en los pueblos desde siempre como medicina, ¿no? El mezcal y la planta en sí se utiliza para varias cosas medicinales. Oh, your microphone.
Sorry. So mezcal comes from the agave plant that is a sacred one that provides not only the drink, but also food and thread to create clothes, and the whole actually relates to the human. It's like a relationship between the humans and the plant.
Exacto. Y en este tiempo, precisamente, donde todas las plantas de poder están hablando, el mezcal se coloca en los, siendo una bebida del pueblo, se coloca en las altas esferas, ¿no? de los bares del mundo, y hay un trabajo muy fuerte de conciencia que se está haciendo precisamente para que no sea tomado como solo un alcohol, sino que tenga este entendimiento y este acercamiento para conectar pues la conciencia con el corazón de la tierra, con el corazón del maguey.
So these days there is a work being done to take the mezcal not only from the pueblo, but also to higher spheres. I don't like to use that term, but to other realms, and to communicate the importance to don't relate to it just like another spiritual, like a spirituous or alcohol drink, but to take the mezcal as a tool, as another ancestral plant, a remedy, and these days they are communicating with society. So that's the work that Berenice is doing, to explain the importance of relating to it and hear the message of the agave through the mezcal.
Y entender la fuerza de este espíritu, de este spirit, porque al tomar estas plantas eran plantas para los aztecas, para el gran Anáhuac, eran plantas sagradas y estaban representadas por una diosa o por una deidad que es Mayagüel. Y Mayagüel es una diosa de fecundidad, una diosa lunar, una diosa de 400 pechos, porque 400 significa infinito, porque puede alimentar de manera infinita a sus hijos.
So mezcal, was known by the Azteca, and it was connected to the essence of a goddess, Mayagüe, which had 400 breasts, which it means infinite. So she could provide for her children forever.
Exactly. Y bueno, precisamente el agave tiene un ciclo lunar. Son plantas que son muy longevas, viven mucho tiempo, tardan en crecer de 4 a 30 años para madurar, y también hay un ciclo lunar con ellas. Sus grandes polinizadores son los murciélagos, hay un ciclo nocturno, y también, bueno, también tienen la fuerza del sol de México, porque se da en todo el país, se encuentras agaves, pero hay una relación directa con esta fuerza lunar desde su corazón, y con lo que nosotros podemos, al tomar este espíritu, sentir.
So agave, it's following the moon cycles, but it's also being one of the key pollinizers, or supporting to spread this plant are the bats, the animals. So it has a lot of the night energy, the moon energy, but also the sun from Mexico. So when we drink it, we can connect with those energies.
Exacto. Entonces, pues bueno, yo invito siempre a la gente a probarlo, a calentar el corazón desde ahí, porque el mezcal es medicina para hablar desde el alma. es medicina para calentar el corazón y es medicina para abrir la conciencia.
I totally suggest that warm up the mezcal before drinking it because it supports expression and talk. It's from the soul. It opens up the heart and it expands the consciousness.
Sí, y gracias, muchas gracias Lore por invitarme y por permitirme compartir un poquito de esta medicina con todos ustedes.
Gracias, Bere. Ha sido un really good session about different topics about to being women or women in medicine, and your path with the mezcal and Mayagüel have been really important. I'm speaking in English if Bob is listening us, and I want only to remember why I invite Bere, because it's about the goddess Mayagüel. It's coming from the agave plant that has the flower and has breastfeeding. And Mayagüel, it's like, for us, is the most important sacred goddess of nutrition, nurturing, and to relate this with everything in the world, like, it doesn't matter if someone is not until medicine plant or master plants. It will be important to understand that for us to born, we need to be nurtured. Like every of us who is breastfeeded. And it is another photo, and how she's always fighting to work. Like the moms are always working for the family. And this is the other goddess, Artemis. It has many breasts too. So these energies are sacred and are around the world in different cults of the sacred mother. And I think I want to close this session with this. Like, the women medicine is to be a sacred mother and to support this in the sacred mother earth. And congratulations also for the new adventure you are living, Bere. And I want to thank everybody to be here. Liana, thanks for helping with the translation for the panelists. And also, it was recorded from John. Maybe we can see this session later. So if you want to tell us something, John.
It's there.
All right. Well.
Amazing job, really,
So,
everybody. Thank you so much.
Conclusion, drink mezcal, drink mezcal, be happy, and be balanced and be good. All right. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.